Hey guys, some of you may never have seen what a spindle bearing looks like on a riding lawnmower. So I'm going to explain what these things look like and take it apart for you and show you. So if one of yours happens to fail, you know how to pull out the bearings and replace it. And it's pretty simple, really. This happens to be one for a Cub Cadet made by MTD. Now MTD makes nearly all of the machines out there, so these are very similar to what's under your machine most likely. This one is a new model, so they have a grease fitting on it, and the grease fitting here is they also drill a little hole here for a bleeder. So when you pump these up with grease, it takes about 30 pumps of grease, and then when you see it leaking out over here, you stop and you know that the cavity is filled up with grease. But to take it apart, the easiest way for me is to take the lawnmower blade and put it in the vise over here, and that'll hold the shaft in place. This one happens to have a 6-star type of retainer over here. Fits into the lawnmower. Whenever I work on lawnmowers, I always use an impact gun. If I'm taking off a lawnmower blade, I'll come underneath and just hit it with the impact gun, and I don't got to block the blade with a piece of wood or anything. It's absolutely the easiest way to work on a lawnmower. So I use it also to take this apart over here. So this here has a nut on the top that holds the pulley. The pulley's got a spline on it, so it can't slip on the shaft. You got a collar. You have another type of dust cover. If I pick this up, now that the pulley is removed, this will pull right through. And there's your bearings right here. You get one bearing here, which is slightly loose, a little bit loose. There's one bearing. You have a bushing in the center. The bushing applies pressure to the inner and outer inside of the bearings over here. That's what this thing does. And you have another bearing on the inside. This one's a little bit tighter fitting, so I'm not going to bother to pull it out. But all you do to pull it out, you just get a piece of wood and just tap it, or a screwdriver handle or something, and you'll drive it right out. To reassemble it, on these here, because it's got a grease fitting, make sure that you always pull, like this is the bearing what they show you. This has got the seal bearing, and it has the plastic on, the rubber or the plastic seal. I pulled them off on this side here because when I fill it up with grease, I want the grease to fill up and get into the bearing over here. So to remove that seal, just take a little pick or a small screwdriver and just pick at it, and you'll pop that seal right off, and you'll expose the bearing, and so the grease can be filled. Thing is though, on a lawnmower application, you want one side to be sealed, and then you want to put the grease on the inside. You know what I mean? So you put the bearing that's open on the inside, so when the cavity is filled, the bearing will get greased. So that's how it goes. Pretty simple stuff here. Let's see if I am smart enough to reassemble it. Put this back on the inside, put the bearing with the seal exposed over here. Now if you got one that's really loose fitting, you take a punch, and they also teach us this with gunsmithing. Take a punch and you just lightly strike the aluminum on the outside here, and that will expand the metal and it will lock the bearing in, so it'll be tight. Just by striking it 6, 7, 8 times around the outside here on this face, that'll expand the metal, and then it'll make the bearing nice and tight. That's an old gunsmithing trick also. Oh, I screwed up. There you have it. Thanks for watching, guys.